Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode brought to you by the Collective Entertainment Network, Mason's One Shot Part 2. So, uh, if you haven't checked it out, it will be on our YouTube channel, Mason's very special One Shot Part 1. Happened a couple of weeks ago, uh, where I get to play. Normally I'm the GM, but Mason has decided to take us through a little mini campaign through a world that him and Brian and I have been making, and we decided to bring our good friend Logan with us. So we're gonna jump right into tonight's action after a brief recap.
So, as you guys recall, you've all come to the mining town of Wisp, located in the northern province of the Imperium of Might. You've all responded basically to a call, though to be fair, Einar may have just coincidentally been there eating food. But you've all responded to a call or request for dealing with a supposed cult activity that they suspect is occurring inside a recently uncovered temple that they miners have managed to dug into. Leading to that, however, there has been people who have ventured inside that, namely the acolyte Clarence of the local Temple of the Light. He has unfortunately not returned, and it has been quite a bit of time recently. But nevertheless, you all went to the church to get the information. Met Hayar, the leader of the church there, who is a rather best way to describe him.
Generous man.
Very generous, pompous man.
One could say he's so generous he's almost going backwards.
Exactly. As well as, of course, the halfling Aquila, who Edward had actually arrived to town with, a very
smelly,
very unwashed, may very well have never heard of a bath halfling.
Yeah, has never seen one in his life.
Who they brought into the temple when he was obstructed from entering at first. In the meantime, you guys have gotten the necessary information. You have also received Clarence's journal, as the acolyte, out of excitement for having received a blessing of divine power, had been patrolling the temple, wanting to ensure its security, explore it, feeling that he himself was capable, or at least that is what you have been told. You do have his journal. You now stand outside of the temple, as you guys have just left. You know the route to the mine. The floor is yours.
Well, I don't think there's any reason to delay unless we want to read the journal a bit more. I think we should get in there and see if we can't rescue good old Clarence.
Yeah, time is of the essence. If he's in any danger, we might as well go save him.
Prefer to bring back the rescued alive. Elnod, do you agree with this, or would you like to read the book?
Well, if we can go.
All right. So you guys all start making your way, following the path, making your way up towards the mine.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing on the path, it's very, very much a worn path. You believe that typically whenever the mine is open, which it has been closed, as you recall, by order of Hayar, who has not just the temple leader there, but also, in essence, the foreman / mayor / sheriff. But you get the feeling that this has been a mine that has been going for quite some time. The ground here is very thoroughly worn. You even see like rocks along the side of this path, which almost look like they have been worn down themselves from people walking through here and on them. But you continue on up the path. It's probably a good 20-minute, 30-minute hike if there's anything you guys wish to do during that time. Otherwise, we can get straight to the mine.
Yes.
I think Sir Theros will try to kind of walk and read at the same time. Just
Okay.
kind of flipping through it just in case there's something there.
Okay. Because you're not like sitting down and just directly reading this, you're kind of casually flipping through this. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me. And this will be
Guidance.
you. Yeah, this will be you kind of glancing through and looking for anything that sort of stands out.
Tap you on the shoulder. I say, I hope you find something useful in that. Guidance.
Yeah, D4. Gotta find a D4. There it is. I'm having trouble finding my dice lately. They're all in the same spot. That will be a 16 plus 2 for an 18.
Okay. You recall being told that there was a good bit of information and he sounded like he was going mad maybe towards the end, and they believe that he may have been cursed, possibly due to his investigation, or due to his patrols in the temple. Flipping, basically just skipping the entire first portion of the book, you go straight towards the juicy bits that you know where the relevant information is going to be. First few entries are just him sort of writing about how he felt compelled, felt yeah, more just compelled, like he should be keeping a watch on the temple. If there are cultists, he should indeed be checking in on there, making sure everything is taken care of. He felt very confident in his power with the light. Then he starts describing just how odd he felt that Hayar felt the need to close it off immediately, and how he had yet to see really any activity or any sort of sign of even anyone being there. Which then quickly changes. There does start showing up signs. He starts finding footprints, just very, very light, almost indistinguishable footprints in the dirt within the temple. And then it switches, and it becomes just a jumble of words and letters, and it doesn't make sense. What languages do you know?
I know Common, Draconic, and Leonin.
Leonin. Anyone who's multilingual starts developing a sense of words and grammar, of being able to think outside of their common tongue. You feel like there is a sense of language here. You do not know or recognize any of the language or anything therein. You feel like this might almost be like a code.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. I do mention that to Edward and of Elnar, but
Einar.
Einar, excuse me.
I'll take a glance over at it just to see if I recognize any of the patterns, any of the words.
What languages do you know?
Common, Infernal, Elvish, and Goblin.
Okay. Infernal is a related language to Celestial. It's heavily influenced by other languages like Abyssal and Primordial, but you do start recognizing some of the parts of words. You have a feeling that there is likely a Celestial language root to a lot of what he's using.
So Theros, I believe that it might be Celestial, if you know a way that we could gather that information.
I've seen Celeste. I've always had a hard time with that particular word. I don't know. Einar, are you familiar with Celestial at all, or have a way to read?
Would primordial be like the Latin to us? So like words are like broken down by like how primordial used to have it.
I mean, if you take a look at it, you actually can recognize some parts of it as well. Probably not the same parts as Edward, but you can
So
recognize some parts of this in terms of, oh, that's primordial there and there.
yeah,
That's like half of a primordial word there.
yeah. So I start explaining like it, it it's not all primordial, but the way it's like half reading and half trying to decipher what the other part means, but in primordial, and then I'll read what I can from it.
So in terms of primordial, go ahead and make an intelligence check
Okay.
plus the number plus 1 point for each language you know. This is your own experience and mastery of language.
Common, draconic, and primordial. Cool.
So you get your intelligence check plus 3.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So I'm adding my intelligence modifier.
Yeah, so intelligence modifier and then plus 3, 1 point for each language you know.
21.
21. You feel
Oh, I
like you
should have
actually
guided you.
you actually 21 is more than high enough for this to get a general feel. You start getting a general feel and you start noticing in little bits of his language, it seemed like he felt a need to hide something, conceal something, or
Hmm.
something was hidden that wasn't ready to be revealed. In another part, uh, not attack was fixing, helping, healing. Not an attack was healing, and something about shadowy figure with light.
I say all of that. Yeah, and this last one here, the root word is with light.
Hmm.
This seems
The attack was.
shadowy creature with light. It could mean some sort of. I know there's all kinds of shadow creatures, shadow fae, something of that nature, attacking with light. Seems
Yeah,
odd for a shadow with light.
the primordial word ook means shadowy creature with light.
That is now canon.
Crossover. He is a god. No.
As a note, Edward, if you want to try and decipher any additional stuff, because you do have a different side of this
Well,
coming from the Celestial.
Right. So I was actually
I
going to ask if I could maybe make like a some sort of like a religion check to see if I could recognize anything that I've seen in the temple, because there's probably been a lot of celestial stuff in the temples.
Yeah, go ahead and make a yeah, go ahead and make a
Like any of the
religion
similar.
check.
I'm
Could
gonna
I-
Go ahead and make a religion check.
guidance.
Okay.
could I expand on Einar's dissection of words with my I'm well educated, so I might be able to decipher a little bit more.
I'd say
Do I have a history?
hmm, I'd say yeah, go ahead and make a history check.
All right.
I got a 17 religion, by the way.
17.
Yeah.
What were your languages again, Edward?
Besides common, infernal, elvish, and goblin.
Okay. And what you rolled, what was your roll again? It was 17?
17.
17. All right. Theros?
11.
11.
Hmm.
So Theros, there are things that come to mind, but you also you also feel like it might be more related just to your culture. This is very, very far north in the continent.
Right.
There are certainly descriptions of different shadowy creatures. You know that from your own time that in the deserts in the south,
Yeah.
that the craziest things some people see are shadowy creatures, and but shadowy creatures with light, it's not really clicking anything for you.
Okay.
Edward, you doing a religion check, you do know of especially being a clergyman, you know, in relation to the creation mythology, as far as to the origin of Astria, that light, the great and creator god, formed Astria, created it. And in addition to that, you do recall that there is a myth concerning the first god that was created by the light,
Okay.
which is commonly referred to as the little darkness. Um, Theologians like to debate about it a lot. Some debate that it was an accidental creation. Some think it was a purposeful creation. Some think it was just a children's story that from way, way, way back that got blown way out of proportion and somehow made its way into the theology of the time. No one
Right.
really knows if the little darkness is even necessarily something that exists. But it is something that does kind of come to mind.
All right. I'm gonna keep
I want
that.
you
I'm gonna keep that to myself for now. But what's up?
I want you to make one more check for me. I want you
Mhm.
to make an intelligence check with a proficiency bonus.
Okay. And can I guide myself?
Yes. The guidance
There's
lasts for a minute, so
no.
during that minute you have that D4.
Oh, that's facts. I actually crit failed.
Crit failed. You feel like there was something else. You feel like it was like it's like when you know that one thing, but you feel like there's a wall. So there,
Yeah.
what I need to know is on the other side here, but I can't get in there. You feel like there's something
Maybe
you know.
maybe
What?
after a fresh cup of coffee, I might might jog my memory. I'll start pouring myself a cup of coffee. But yeah, that's it.
All right. So, carrying on.
Yeah.
By this time, you guys arrive at the entrance to the mine. There are oil lanterns, of course, situated nearby in a nice case, which is very well labeled. What would you guys like to do? It is dark going forward.
I'd like to take a breather.
Einar just sits down.
Yeah.
Well, since Einar is sitting, I would like to use one of my feats of inspiring leader, and something along the lines of, I know we haven't worked well together before, but we have been placed on this mission for a reason, a purpose, a fate, if you will, and that we will learn to work together and be tested in the forges of battle, and that I will not, I will for one will not abandon you and be willing to sacrifice it all in the name of justice and rescuing. What the hell was his name? Clarence.
For Clarence.
For Clarence.
10 minutes later, you each gain temporary hit points equal to your level plus Theros's charisma modifier,
So
which is
7.
So 7 altogether.
7 altogether.
All right.
10 hit points. Nice.
Yep.
Let's go.
What's your guys' passive perception?
18.
15.
18. 15.
14.
14. Einar, while this is going on, you kind of start catching movement a little bit off the side of your eye. You start seeing, looks like there's someone in the mine, just standing there. And looks like they're starting to, kind of as Theros starts getting to the end of his speech, they look like they're starting to walk forward.
Did we say that the sea dragonborns had dark vision? I don't remember.
Oh, frick. I would need to double check my notes. I think we did. I will say yes for right now.
Okay. I think I wrote it down somewhere too, and I can't remember.
I'm just about there.
It would make
Can I
sense for a
see-
sea creature to have some sort of low light vision.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, you have dark vision only while underwater.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Hey,
All right.
hey, your speech is great, but can you see in the dark?
Yes.
What's that? And I
Look-
point into the cave.
I'll look over.
You look over. You see a tall, almost black-skinned figure emerging, white hair, kind of disheveled going down the sides. They almost look like they're swaying from side to side as they're starting to walk towards you. And they sort of stop just short of the light line where the light from outside is entering into the cave itself. Not too much in the way of clothing. They look like they're very lightly dressed, chest and arms exposed. You do notice, because you're not really that far away, so it'd be very easy to notice. You do notice is what looks like 2 wounds on his side, one on each side, just below the ribcage.
You there, in the cave. State your name. Are you well?
Einar's
Sure.
gonna grab his flask, which is about
Fat.
this big, and
doesn't really seem to respond.
Einar's standing up now.
Sort of
Is it-
starts to rotate on the spot, very
Yeah.
slowly, very kind of swaying back and forth. Like he looks like he's about to start walking back inside.
I can move like that too.
Are you well, sir?
Bonce just starts walking back into the cave.
Well, I don't like that.
And the
First
man
off, it's
seemed
rude, and second, it's creepy.
he seemed wounded.
Hmm.
Is he should we go get a little closer? I kinda wanna.
I believe it's fair enough. We're gonna have to go in either way.
Because it didn't seem like he wanted to step out into the light, so we might as well go greet him if he's gonna be rude and stand back there.
Right. Do we have something that produces light just in case? We might need it further
I
in.
was thinking that.
At this point, he's disappearing around one of the corners further
Oh,
in.
fuck. Oh, okay. Never.
I
Well-
do have a torch if necessary. I have some torches.
Yeah, I didn't prep daylight. I blew it.
All right.
All right.
Axe. Out, not low ready, if you will. Not up ready to chop, but available.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hold the torch if you light it, because I can't see in the dark.
Oh,
Shield in hand, warhammer in hand.
All right. What's your guys' marching order?
Sir Theros will go first.
I'll go second with the torch.
I'll take up the rear.
All right. So we got Light Source in the center, Theros in the lead, Edward in the back. You guys enter into the cave. Now, as you do enter in, there is a kind of like a split here, very close to the beginning. As you kind of come to this Y section, you do look down, and you still see that same figure, sort of just shambling down the hallway, kind of swaying. Something very, I don't know, graceful almost to his movement, despite what you're seeing.
Follow.
Okay. You begin to follow. Are you
Yeah.
catching up to him? Are you guys keeping your distance?
Keeping him kind of at the edge of our light. That's what Sir Theros wants to do.
Yep.
Okay. Continuing forward.
I'm just gonna be peering around, looking for any like I don't know traps or anything like that along the way.
Perception check.
I will assist you with
Oh
that.
my god, thank you so much.
And I believe you still have,
No, dude, I'm
I
done
believe you
rolling this
still
dice right
have
now.
guidance on you as well.
Oh, I mean, it's not gonna help. I don't even know why I'm rolling. 4.
4. No, it seems all good. I
I
mean, it's
rolled
a
2 crit
mine,
fails
but
and
I
a 2
mean, looks like it's all good.
in a
You're
row.
all
Just saying.
set.
Yep.
Excuse me.
No reason to think anything's going on or anything nefarious is
Yeah.
around.
March
just
on, boys.
very-
March on. Let's go. Let's go see what this is up to.
To be
Jeez.
fair, this is a very odd sight because he is just sort of shambling forward and doesn't really seem to be. He's not responding. He's just moving at his own pace. But as you guys kind of keep going, you continue following him as he continues to walk deeper, and then start feeling that downhill shift as it starts going lower and lower. Uh, there are other passages that you walk by as you're continuing forward, but it goes on here for quite a bit.
God, downhill's just as bad as uphill.
Yeah, you're really starting to feel it in your calves. Eventually, at one point, he just sort of stops.
Cool.
There's the center of the passageway.
We all float down here.
Suddenly, a red balloon starts rising above his shoulder. No, kidding.
And Sir Theros is out.
Can I float on the balloon all the way up?
So he's just
You said
standing
we all
there.
float. I want to float. I'm good at floating.
Yep, he just seems to be just standing there.
Keep walking towards him.
Okay.
Checking around. I want to actively check around the area that he stops for traps and ambush stuff.
Okay. Sort of move past Theros, still holding the torch, moving forward.
Yeah.
Because I'm assuming Edward and Theros are just standing where they are, right?
I'm gonna just kind of. What? Sorry, I was reading something. What are you doing, INR?
I'm actively looking for like traps or like an ambush. So like I hold the torch up a little bit higher so I can get a better better look.
I'm gonna throw out a little channel divinity turn undead just to see what happens.
You're level 5, right?
Yep,
And it's just turn undead. It hasn't become destroy undead.
exactly.
Okay. What's your spell DC?
That is.
Could you use divine sense to like sense undead instead of turn undead?
The
That way-
16.
16. You see as you kind of hold your holy symbol to Habel.
Wait, 15. 15. Sorry. 15.
Okay.
My bad.
You hold your holy symbol to Habel. You kind of mutter a quick prayer, and you feel that almost like cold but welcoming energy flow through you as you are a worshiper of the god of death and life.
Mm-hmm.
As this little pulse emanates out from you, and as it washes over this figure, he starts booking it. Running away much faster than you thought he was going to move. You also hear footsteps from behind you.
Oh, this
As
is
you
I'll
turn, as you turn back, as you see that pulse emanating out, and you see about 4 other of these same figures running back up the tunnel.
Immediately turn to the boys. Oh yeah, we're getting surrounded by some sort of undead, something, little zombies. I don't know.
great.
As a point, because you would be able to notice since you do have dark vision, same sort of physical description as you kind of see them running away, like white hair down the back, various different styles, but mostly slim figured, almost black skin, not very much clothing figures running away. How long does that last? Lasts for a turn, or
That lasts.
you think I know? I've played a cleric
Something is
before.
great.
Turn for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. So yeah,
Yep.
they are booking it away from you. Do you guys give chase? What are you doing?
Oh, it is. I'm so sorry. It is actually destroy undead at 5th
Oh,
level. I thought it was 6th level.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
fifth
that's
level.
totally my bad.
So he failed,
Oh God.
failed,
Well,
succeeded.
they start to run.
I believe that's a fail. Well, that is also a fail, and that is a fail. All they start to run, and all but one, I believe, disintegrates.
Okay, so
And it's actually, I would say that it's probably going to be the one in front of you. You feel it kind of twitch for a moment. You definitely responds to your turn undead, but it
mhm,
is not destroyed.
kind of seeing all those drop, just praise to the gods.
You just see all this you just see all this clothing and stuff drop to the floor.
What were
That
they?
Uh,
that spell was a spell to be reckoned with. Good job, Edward.
I am, a very religious man, and I will say one of the lights, and I guess anything we can do to bring the lights into these dark caves.
What are they?
Uh, Undead of some sort.
Einar, are you still closing? Are you like right next to this thing or
Is the one in front of me still standing there?
still standing there?
How far from me?
Probably about 10 feet.
I'm still holding the torch, yeah?
Yeah. So you have like he is fully in the light.
What's he look like?
So his back is still to you.
Hmm.
But from what you can see, very svelte figure, blackened skin, like I said, but like I mean like black skin. But as you look kind of
Like
close to him,
like
there's a
like drow or
drow is
like dark
copyrighted, so there
elves?
are no
Like dark
uh
elves?
you glance up around where his ears are, and there are pointed ears. However, you've never seen an elf like this before. There's almost like a as you kind of look at his skin, there almost looks like weird greenish ripples in his skin,
Hmm.
like very faint, almost like as if you had been
Like
covered in something that's like slowly dropping, like slowly flowing off of him.
so like
But
he looks a little like gangrenous.
yeah,
Like like frostbite and gangrene had like a child.
sort of. But it doesn't look. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's actual irritation on the skin or anything. It almost looks like as if it was painted on, but you feel like it's something beneath the skin.
And you mentioned there was wounds on either side of this
On his
creature.
sides, just below the rib cage.
Are they fresh wounds or are they like coagulated and
Make a medicine check. You will need to get closer, just as a note.
medicine?
Mhm.
Okay. 24.
24. You do get closer. You get within 5 feet of him to be able to do this check. But as
While I'm
you
doing that,
just kind of chugging as you're doing this, looking at this very strangely cooperative zombie, um, checking his wounds. The wounds themselves, there's remnants of dry blood, and the wounds look like they are very irritated. You have a feeling whatever was inserted to make these wounds stayed in there while he was still alive, and probably for quite a while.
Damn.
so I'm now like 5 feet. Like I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. With my free hand, I turn it around to look at its face.
You do make physical contact with it. It does respond. What's your armor class?
20.
It goes for a swing, and you feel like if it had been a normal person, that definitely would have connected. But you very like effortlessly just kind of slide your head out of the way as it kind of swings around, but doesn't seem to respond
Um, I see its
after
face
that.
now.
Yep.
Undead.
It is an elven face. One of the eyes is missing.
Okay.
Uh, the
The
other one is glassed over.
the
It is
alcohol that
empty.
I just didn't swallow, I bring the torch down and blow it into his face.
Okay. Um,
What a move!
let me make a couple rolls here.
I don't know how to do that because I am not a fire-breathing
That's a
dragonborn.
fail, yeah. Just roll a d10 for me.
Okay.
That's so
9.
cool.
What was it?
9.
9? He catches fire very quickly. Um, and he doesn't. It's weird. It's like he doesn't seem responsive to it. But as he begins to flame, you see the flames following the trail of like the spittle that poured out onto him, and then you see it almost like it seems to catch something and it starts to run along those same patterns that you saw on his skin, and he is going to explode. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
Oh
my
boy.
best
Oh my god.
saving throw.
Yep.
Look out. Einar, he might explode.
Um, that's a 27.
Okay. So you save for half as you see the chemical just burn and then seemingly just it's more like it's like a quick flash. It sort of flashes off of his body. You take 4 points of damage altogether, 4 points of fire damage altogether,
Okay.
and that is already reduced. And then he just sort of falls over. Just whatever's left is just smoldering along those trails.
What the other two see is the torch kind of goes up, and then my bottle goes up, and I just kind of look at it like, oh, I brought the good stuff. Thinking it was the alcohol that blew up and not.
Oh, gotcha. But he is now on the ground. He is burning. Any physical features that you might have been able to share with the others is gone.
Well, that was a wholly unforeseen turn of affairs.
Do we see more now that I have a little bonfire in front of me?
Make a perception check.
Guidance.
What do I add to that?
D4.
All right, the D4 is what? I can't see that because it's dark. 2. 2 plus 17, 19 plus
Wow.
27.
27. You
Let's
don't
go.
see anything immediately,
Nice.
but you're kind of your ear fins kind of perk and tweak a little bit, and you kind of feel you can start hearing more of that same sort of shuffling footstep coming from behind you somewhere.
They
You have a
like fire.
feeling you have a feeling quite a few more are on their way, but coming from behind you, from the way you came in.
Should
Okay.
we should we move forward, or shall we advance to the enemy and reduce the threat to our rear?
And do you hear any more coming from ahead of us, Einar?
I didn't, right?
No, you don't hear anything coming from up ahead.
Did I see anything? Like, did anything up ahead expose, or does it just keep going?
It looks like it continues onwards.
Okay.
Then it probably wouldn't be bad to deal with the threat behind us then, Theros.
Then let's deal
I mean,
with
we
that.
always need a way out.
So your guys are gonna wait.
Sir
Yeah.
Theros is going to hold his axe up, tight to him, but is going to press himself into the wall and attempt to hide.
Okay, Theros, go ahead and make a stealth check. Guys get one set of prep. for this.
I'm
before
gonna
they
wait till
arrive.
they come within range of a thunder wave. No, I'm not. Oh, that's gonna be so loud. Hold
19.
on.
19. All right, keeping it in mind. Einar, are you doing anything to prep?
Uh,
I'm going to.
So to give you guys a visual, this is roughly about a 10-foot wide mine. You guys are still in a portion that's fairly well worked. There's a lot of support in here, everything. It's about 10 feet wide. Theros, you've managed to kind of wedge yourself into a crack on the side. Fairly well hidden from what you can see.
Before Theros like fully like gets against the wall, I'm like, any of you guys want a hit of this?
I'm just gonna keep a sacred flame held until the first one I see.
Okay.
I'm gonna take if no one takes any, I take my rope and I wrap it behind around both of my knuckles and pour alcohol on it,
hmm
and I drop the torch and I light my fists.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Mechanically, I'll say, yeah, mechanically, I'll say your unarmed strikes are now fire damage.
Okay.
For how
Pretty
long?
So
sick.
for until he drops it or sets his fists on, accidentally starts setting himself on fire.
I imagine at some point it's just gonna start burning my hands.
Oh, you lucky mother trucker. Okay. All right. Edward, as you start hearing the feet coming into. Okay. Yeah, no, everyone's made their prep. So, very shortly after that, Theros and Edward, you guys both start hearing these footsteps, very rapid moving footsteps, as from the passages up above, you start seeing these elven zombies start running down the passageway towards you. Very oddly graceful, and you have a feeling there's a good bit of muscle memory working through these guys right now. Edward, you get first go because you did a range attack. Go ahead and
Yep. They gotta
roll
make a.
damage.
They gotta make a dex. One of them has to make a dex save.
And what's the spell DC?
15.
15. He actually beats that.
All right.
And so you
He's
see the
chilling.
light kind of go off, and again, very gracefully, such a sort of almost seems to dance out of the way as this zombie continues running down the hallway towards you.
Yep.
Up next will be probably Theros. Theros, you start seeing them approaching, or you hear them approaching. They start coming into view.
Listening intently, I know the range of my axe. I've fought with this many times, and he'll sit there and he'll say, "Let me show you why I call me Bronzeheart," and it's just gonna come out swinging right for the
Go ahead.
for the neck.
Go ahead and make an attack roll at advantage.
Let's go with 21.
Ooh.
21. Go ahead and roll damage. That definitely just kind of comes out, slams into the first elven zombie that comes running towards you.
Oh, ouch. Max damage for 17.
Let's go.
Holy crap. All right, you do actually a heavy amount of damage to that first one. You do have 2 attacks, just as a note.
Yep.
So 17 on that first one. Do you make a second attack?
Absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead and swing. This one will be a straight roll because they're now aware that you're there.
Yep. Straight roll, even better. That was 25.
That'll hit. Roll damage.
16 points of damage.
Okay. 16. Let's see, what's the difference there? 16. So 11. And you feel it connect You feel it start to bite through, but then all of a sudden, its arms kind of come up and just shove the axe off of you. You swear you had it there for a moment, but undead fortitude. The first two are going to turn in and try and corner you there in that spot. They're each going to make an attack roll against you.
All right.
What's your AC?
15.
15. That is no and no. Roll the 10 and 11. They both kind of try and smack into you, but they end up striking the stone. One of them does manage to get through and just kind of brushes you, but doesn't make any real damage. The remaining 4 are continuing down the hallway. They're going to come up on you, Edward. One of them is going to actually try and grapple you. Make either an athletics or an acrobatics check.
Is one of them passing within 5 feet of me?
A bunch of them are. You can try and make an op attack if you would like.
Because I have Sentinel, so if I can stop one.
Yeah, go for it.
Make what check?
It's going to be athletics or acrobatics.
Right. Oh, natural 20.
Oh, that's
gonna... frick. Okay. Yeah. Roll damage on that.
Brutal critical like we normally do?
Yeah, so brutal critical, so maximize one set of dice and then roll the second set of dice.
Ooh, let's see, that is 27.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, so you see 2 of them starting to break away, moving towards Edwards, and you manage to just bring your axe down between the 2 that are trying to corner you, and just catch him and just slice off the upper part of his body, which just kind of slumps over. Whole thing just falls to the side. Edward, what'd you roll for your athletics or acrobatics?
15. Athletics.
15. The one that does get to you does manage to grapple you.
Yep.
Because he rolled a natural 20 plus 1 for a 21. So you are presently grappled by one of these zombies. However, his partner does not show up. So the other 2 continue racing down the hallway towards you, Einar. And you have 2 of these zombies approaching you. What are you doing? You have the flaming fist of fury.
I do. Do you know any martial arts styles?
Me? Yes.
Yeah.
I've done Taekwondo.
Do you know Wing Chun?
You doing Wing Chun?
Yeah.
All right. You take this very almost small-bodied stance, which looks weird on your body.
Yeah, but it works. It works well for the drunken master too, because it is so unexpected. And if you guys don't know what Wing Chun is, basically, you've seen it in movies where someone has their hands up, and when they're punching, they're doing this, but it's more like this, and they're basically like keeping people back. But it's also one of the martial arts that's banned in the UFC because it's devastating, and it can
too effective
likely
for close
kill
quarters.
you. It breaks too much stuff on people.
Wing Chun.
Wing Chun. Interesting enough, it was originally created by a woman to basically be how a woman fights.
Yep.
And it is brutal. Check out Ip Man if you're looking for
made famous
specifics.
by Ip Man, who taught Bruce Lee. Who Bruce Lee took Wing Chun and turned it into Jeet Kune Do, which is Bruce Lee's style, which is the styleless style of fighting. Be like water.
It's great.
Cool.
Fun facts for everybody.
So you take a Wing Chun stance.
Yep. And the first one that comes up to me, I am going to make an unarmed strike.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay. That is a 15 plus 8.
That'll hit. Roll your fire damage.
That is 4 plus 5 is 9 fire damage.
9 points of fire damage, and then it is going to have a mildly explosive response. What did I roll?
Mildly explosive
I rolled a
response.
mildly explosive response as they are coming up on you. Unfortunately, this is also going to chain. Dex save, if you would.
Yep.
And that one's also going to make a dex save because it's right next to him.
14 plus 8. 22.
22. All right. So you take a grand total of 2 points of fire damage, while the one next to it also takes a grand total of 2 points of fire damage. It will take another 5 points of fire damage. So it's at 14. The one next to it detonates. Make another save, if you would.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's 13 plus 8, so that's what, 21?
21. All right, that'll save. So you take another 2 points of fire damage. That one does save, so it also takes 2 points of fire damage. And then this one's 2. All right.
Am I One Punch Man?
Not quite. They are now aflamed. They have been ignited, and that they are still coming at you.
Can I attempt to break free that grapple?
It is not quite your turn because your turn
Okay.
was used doing Sacred Flame. You're going to be up next, though.
Yeah, so my second one will go to the
Oh,
one
he's still
next to
going.
me.
Okay, go ahead
The
and make your
other
attack
one.
roll.
Yep.
They've already been ignited, so they will not explode. This one will not explode. It's already been ignited.
All right, so the second one, that is a natural 20.
Yeah, let's go.
Go for it.
So that's,
So max the first dice, which I believe for you is a D6.
it is. So it's 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 5 is 15.
So another 15.
Yep.
All right. So it needs to make a save. Its DC is 20. It fails. The other one you just kind of punch a hole basically through this other one as it's just sort of starts disintegrating from the fire running across it.
How far would I need to move up?
You still have the one that's on top of you.
Oh, I
You
thought
still
he
have
blew
another
up.
one. No. The other one blew up. Or are you still hitting the same one?
No, so the first one that I hit blew up, right?
First one you hit blew up. It's still standing. It's not dead. It's still standing. The other one ignited as well. So you punched
Okay.
that one, and you got your crit on that one. Oh yeah,
Okay.
why did I even roll that? He was a crit. He doesn't get undead fortitude. So the second one that was coming up on you is gone. You still have that first one there.
Okay. If I were to do a 5-foot step, would I be able to reach another one?
I'd say you'd be able to, if you kind of circled around him, you'd be able to get near the one that's got Edward grappled.
Cool. I will kind of dance around him,
Mm-hmm.
and I will burn a key point,
To do the flurry of blows.
and I'm going to do a flurry of blows.
Flurry of bros.
Flurry of bros.
Flurry of bros,
Just starts throwing frat guys.
and I'm going to punch the one that I already hit.
Okay.
Another natural 20.
Let's
Okay.
go.
I'm gonna say he's down
He's
and out.
yeah,
so
I don't
he's
want to
just
roll on
gone.
that.
Yeah,
He's done.
he's done.
And
He was
then
at 16 of 22.
I am going to hit the one that has Edward,
Let's go.
and that is going to be that's a unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. All right, that will hit. Roll damage on that.
Okay.
Edward,
so
I'm gonna need a dex save from you.
that is 11 points of fire damage.
All right, he takes 11 points.
Dude.
Also need a
What the fuck is happening?
dex save from you, Anar.
What dex save?
Dex save. Yep.
That's I make it.
Okay, so you take 2 points of fire damage. Edward, what'd you roll?
I failed.
Okay, you take 4 points of fire damage
Cool.
as this zombie ignites on you. It is still standing, and it is now grappling Edward. Edward, at the top of your turn, you're going to take some fire damage,
Cool.
And
which is up next.
drunken technique. Whenever you use flurry of blows, you gain the benefit of the disengage action, and your walking speed increases by 10 feet. Cool. So I disengaged, and I will position myself to be basically in between others, so I can hit more people.
So you kind of rotate around this one, punch him as you're moving by, come forward, punch the one that's got Edwards, kind of rotate around, almost like you're getting ready to, once this guy is gone, go help Theros.
Yeah, and if Theros is watching it, it looks like I'm literally just kind of like stumbling through and just kind of like accidentally hitting people.
Theros is a little busy.
He's a little distracted.
he's got two rapscallions that need vanquishing.
I would like to think that the background music, while these things are blowing up, is Katy Perry's Firework.
No, see,
All
I
right.
envisioned a fire starter by the Prodigy.
One of like two of them are female out of this group. Two of the zombies are female. Edward, it is your turn. Top of your turn, you take 2 points of fire damage
Cool.
because this thing is literally just wrapped around you.
All right, and
what you gonna do?
All that junk.
attempt to break the grapple.
All right, so that's gonna be an action to make either an athletics or acrobatics check.
I can attack while grappled, right?
You can attack while grappled. Yeah, what grapple does is just brings your movement speed to 0.
All right.
So if you want, you can smack him with a hammer.
Can I try to
Smack him with a hammer?
Is there anyone is there any enemy in front of me at all as well?
Nope, it's just him. Just this one. His partner got cleaved in two by Theros as he was running towards you.
All right, then yeah, I'll just attempt to break the grapple.
All right. So
That's
grapple
a
break.
Nat 20 on whatever the fuck check.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a
you're good. You should just kind of shove him off.
And then I'll take whatever op attack, but I will immediately jump up, rotate 180 degrees, and land on the ceiling and just stand upright on the ceiling.
Okay.
Away from enemy line for a second, and then
it's not too tall of a mine, but yeah, you are able to kind of just leap up and you're suddenly on the ceiling.
Am I out of at least like attack range from anyone at the moment?
I'd say it'd be very difficult for him to get to you.
All right, I'm gonna crouch.
Okay, there you go.
Are we having a Spider-Man moment?
Yeah.
Einar, you just see Edward go, push this guy away, and then leap, and then he's just on the ceiling somehow.
Yeah, I kind of like it, almost like a half backflip. End up standing on the ceiling and then crouch. And then I guess I have no bonus action to do. So yeah, I'm good for right now. I'm staying there.
Okay. That brings us to Theros with your two zombies who are on you.
All right, I've hit both of them, correct? Or just one?
You've
just one.
You've beaten the crap out of one. One of them is very heavily hit. You're not sure how he managed it. Well, your people know how to hunt undead, so I'd say you guess he somehow managed to survive because he's an unholy abomination.
Yep. Use that. I want to use that. I don't know if I can use that. Let's just do the standard hit things with a giant axe.
Yeah.
All right, smacky smack. Don't talk back. Go for it.
That's cocked. That will be 19.
19 will hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Cocked again. Not a lot this time. That'll be 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my third natural one. He dies. Yeah, that's that first one that you good for. You just kind of like smack him with the pommel of your axe.
Bam!
Jaw dislocates and he just kind of falls over backwards. You still have one on you.
Die, you unholy thing. Second.
Mm-hmm.
You unholy thing.
16.
16 will hit. Roll damage. Yeah, the Leonins worship the sun god Panthera, and Panthera does not like undead, specifically sentient undead.
Oh.
Yep. 10.
10. All right. Okay. So that one is still standing, but he did take a nice get a nice like gut shot in there. You also notice, similar to that first one you saw, wounds on the side.
Mm. But just the thought that pops into his head is like it feels like these were most undead are made by spell, but something with those wounds makes him think these were made some other way.
They're manufactured.
Manufactured.
Where the fuck?
Instead of aura. Wireless mics, they're great.
I know. I was like, wait.
That'll be it for Sir Theros.
Okay. It is going to be the zombie's turn. However, I don't. He might be able to smack you. 19 plus 3, 22.
Yeah.
Okay. I finally got to hit one of you with something that wasn't just an explosion. You take 3 points of damage. As this fist finally manages to connect, catches the edge of that scar, and you feel that kind of tweak in your chest.
If he could, if someone could see his Sir Theros' eyes, you see a kind of his eyes are kind of golden, but there's this amber flare to them. And if this guy survives the next round, it's not going to be good for him.
It's like when you're watching like a documentary and you see like someone flash the lights over like the lion's eyes and they just kind of like glow.
Yeah.
Edward, you are on the ceiling from your zombie. However, to your immediate anxiety, you see the zombie kind of go over to the wall and start climbing up the wall, trying to make his way towards you.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make an attack at you because he does manage to get the top. He's going to make an attack at disadvantage.
Cool.
I don't think a 7's going to hit.
Close, but no.
You're much better maneuverability right now. A little shocked by it suddenly being able to climb the wall, but you just kind of like lean backwards as that swing comes towards you. That brings us to Einar.
Yep.
It's your turn.
So what is the situation? What's am I?
You've seen Theros still has one zombie on top of him. But he managed to take out the other one, and then the other zombie, which was harassing Edward, which you can take an attack of opportunity against, I forgot to say, if you wish.
Are those the only 2 left?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me like 30 seconds.
In the meantime, while we take this time, Edward, make a history check real quick.
Gotcha. Guidance. Is that possible?
Not in this immediate situation. This is kind of more just like spontaneous.
Damn it. All right, let's see here. History, you said?
Mm-hmm.
24.
24. You get this only because you know Elven. And because Elven is not one of your personal languages, it's one you would have had to study. You are aware of the elves themselves have multiple different cultures all across Astria. Different people groups. One such people group that you learned of only briefly in your study were the Deep Elves.
Ooh, okay.
Very, very little is publicly known about them. They exist. They inhabit a subterranean realm which is known as the Deep. It's vast, huge, massive cavern space where these giant ancient trees stretch up from the very ground, and almost like pillars support the upper crust of Astria. They are the only known sentient denizens of that region.
Okay.
Very little is known about them, but from what you gather from the description that you would received and what you're seeing, these undead are deep elves, which immediately explains why this one is able to climb the rock wall as if it's nothing.
Ah, okay. Okay. Good to know.
Also would explain why they explode. They have chemicals in their skin specifically for emitting light. And
Writing that part down too.
Those are very probably igniting from Einar's punches.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
21 to hit
21 to hit. All right, that'll
for attack of
definitely
opportunity.
hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
That is 8 points of fire damage.
8 points of fire damage. Okay. That's a fail. Wow, every time I roll this undead constitution, I'm getting ones and twos.
right,
Yeah,
dexterity
no,
saving
it,
throw.
it dies. No,
Oh,
it already
okay.
was ignited. They ignite once.
Oh, okay. So now I'll take my turn and
There's
stumble
just
over
one
to the
left.
one
Yep.
in front of Theros.
Which is not ignited.
And as much fun as I'm having, I look at Theros. I'm like, do you want me to?
So you're sort of like pushing this thing back with your axe.
I can hit it.
This one will taste the fury of my bloodline.
Okay, good, because this is burning. I drop the rope that's wrapped around my knuckles.
Yeah, you were closing in on when it was going to start burning you. You're starting to feel the heat there.
Yeah.
All right, with that, we'll go ahead and then just go straight to, unless Edward wishes to do anything on his turn.
Is it like my turn again or my same turn?
Einar's turn ends and then it goes to yours.
Are there any more?
There's just the one that's in front of Theros who just said this one will taste the blade.
Yeah.
Which,
No, I'll let him get
I'm
that strike.
flanking with Theros, so he's gonna have advantage on
He has
this.
advantage on this. Go for it, Theros.
So, something about Theros is he does not like to get hit at all. And when he gets hit, bad things happen to those who hit him. So, I'd like to rage.
All right, describe your rage.
So, the rage starts from his eyes, and it's that amber glow. And it's not like when it flashed, it's like that reflection from a cat. But this one, he rages, and you see a light come from his eyes, and it spreads out through the veins of his body, and all the way out, and there's a reason why he said his bloodline, because as he rages, this light pulsates out, and 3 amber glowing, not really there, but there, old Leonin warriors appear around him and join the fight. So, features, ancestor protection. When you rage, first creature hit with attack on your turn has disadvantage on any attack that isn't against me. When the target hits a creature other than you, that creature has resistance to damage dealt by the attack. So, if this guy doesn't survive the upcoming hit,
You're going to be the only one he can really attack. Yeah,
I'm the only one he can attack, because if he chooses to attack Einar, 1 resists the damage, and 2, the other guy has disadvantage.
Ancestral Guardian is my favorite barbarian class just because of this whole feature. It's like, you're going to fight me, and you're going to fight only me.
Yes. And not only are you going to fight me, but my bloodline is here to make sure that happens.
It's such a great subclass.
All right. So, attack number 1 at advantage. Natural 20.
Let's go.
Yeah, you really don't even need to roll your dice at this point because you're using a battle axe, right? That's 10
Great
plus
axe.
numbers. Oh, great axe. Yeah, you don't even need to roll because that's a 12 right off the bat, plus additional damage after that.
He technically does 29, no, 32, 31 points of damage.
Yeah. So yeah, you just it's less that you cut through him and more that you smash him before the blade can really even sever any flesh.
Yeah.
You crush him into the ground using the axe. and he is just twitching for a moment before it stops.
And he's still, like, the veins are still pulsed, and he's looking around. A completely different person than the well put together Theros you know from this, and he's you can see that he was jacked and very muscular beforehand. It's very much so now.
Your ancestors that surround you kind of give you a look, nod, before they kind of fade back as if they were never there.
The way I envisioned it is they actually fade back into him.
Okay.
Because it is his bloodline. It is his.
It is. All right.
And
kind of give you a nod before they almost kind of seem to merge. The outlines very briefly overlap your physical appearance before it returns back to being you.
Yep. And that's where that round of being stunned, coming out of a rage, hits, because that itself is intense, even for Theros.
All right.
In that moment, I will slowly descend from the ceiling, just kind of like slowly, kind of almost like levitating, rotate, and then land kind of gracefully and stand up, kind of dust some dust off. And that was very impressive, Theros.
So is that were you on the ceiling?
Yeah, I had to get away from these guys. They had me grappled and inflamed. They almost burnt my. You see this? They almost burnt my linens.
Einar, good call on the fist fire.
Be careful, Einar, with the fire.
I was drinking that one.
Oh.
It got real dry in here pretty quick with all the explosions.
With a deeper examination. Oh, sorry.
He was very blue. He looks a little charred.
There is a very
like cartoon-esque, like soot all over the front of him because he was like face first in every explosion.
There is a very like not pleasant mix of almost like a chemical smell now, burnt flesh. It's not really a pleasant smell to be around presently. Edward, you were saying?
I was just gonna say, had a little deeper look into these elves. It kind of jogged my memory a little bit. These are deep elves. Do you guys know anything about those?
You guys honestly wouldn't. Deep elves are very, very removed from the world. Elves generally are. Deep elves, unless you have studied Elven, it's not really anything that would ever come up. Deep elves are very obscure.
Elves themselves are elusive, so I can only imagine these cave-dwelling ones are even more so.
Exactly. One of the rarer of their kind, and they actually have a chemical within their skin that emits a light and it can ignite with fire. So I might explain a little bit of the explosions with Einar's flames.
I want to be clear that I am not a fire dragon.
But you should be.
Also,
they
kind of just look like elves to me because we don't have them in the islands.
Well, in this case, you certainly did channel a cousin of yours, if you will.
What?
Right. Is everyone all
I'll
right?
laugh at that. Cheers the coffee, take a sip, and smile. I'm just gonna. Oh yeah, fucking. I think Theros, you'd see like if you're from my side, you'd see one tooth just a little sharper as I kind of smile and take a sip. Just at a glance.
All right.
And that's that's about it.
So should we examine one, or do we want to push forward in the direction that one was leading us?
I'll examine it. I grab your coffee. Like,
Einar. That's amazing quality.
where's the alcohol?
See,
Hold on. There you go.
I really do appreciate the generosity, Einar. Let's Oh, okay. I'll take a small swig and just wait till he turns around. I will immediately dump it on the floor.
Just kind of dumps it for a
Oh,
little
that's
bit.
good,
And then
right? You
rotates.
want some more?
Ida,
Sure.
Well, I will
Step behind Theros.
I'll take a hit of the good stuff.
This burns when you drink it.
Like rot gut, kind of, or just
No.
really high proof.
This could fuel your car.
Good lord.
You want me to show you a really cool trick?
I saw one earlier.
I know another one. I pour a little on your axe and light it. And because it's so high proof, it doesn't leave any like burn remnants. It burns clean.
You know, I know someone who might want to use that in a different way. Anyways, forward on, gentlemen.
Yep.
Where there's
I'll ra-
5 of these, there's probably more.
I'll raise my mug. It's already completely filled with coffee again. Didn't even touch it. And just cheers, mates. Let's continue forth.
All right.
I started explaining like different alcohols to you guys, and then I explained one that it's so strong it burns invisible.
Impressive.
On that note,
I think I'm just stunned by Einar's performance in that whole fight.
continuing down the passage, you all continue walking down the path that the initial zombie had been leading you towards. Here, the rock starts to become less manicured is the only way for me to really describe it. Most of the tunnel that you've encountered before it's been well worked already. The stone has been supported, situated. It's been set up properly for, regular travel via humans. As you start getting deeper, it starts getting tighter, starts getting less properly cared for. It starts getting rougher. There's a few spots that as you're sort of pressing down, you kind of, especially Theros, definitely Einar, kind of need to rotate a little bit. Einar kind of has to squeeze through very carefully and still kind of gets a couple little scrapes. But eventually you start seeing masonry in the rock. What looks like almost like little bricks sticking out.
I know that guy.
And then very shortly thereafter you reach what looks like a breach in the wall. Do you continue?
How big is the breach?
It's definitely passable. You guys would be able to move through it.
Uncomfortably.
If there's nothing else in this specific area we're in worth looking at, I mean, I could take a look.
Do you guys want to check to see if there's anything else worth noticing?
Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
Okay. Theros, I'm going to ask you for an investigation check.
Guidance.
For Yithago.
Flask.
Noise. That
Well,
would be
that's advantage.
26.
6. As you look around, you notice on the ground there's a very large, loose rock. You haven't seen any rocks coming down this passage yet, besides the ones that are attached to the wall. Everything here looks like it's been cleaned out, like to grant easy access. And as you sort of reach down, you kind of move this rock out of the way, there's an alcove, small little like hole behind it, inside of which you see a nice little leather, like little strip of leather that looks like it's been sat down, and a sort of half a piece of bread sitting there. Next to it, what looks like a small little stick effigy. A little stick person.
There was a kind of altar of some kind is sparking.
Not, well,
You got a little
not
effigy,
really.
a little food offering, a place to kneel is what's first hitting his mind.
It's not really set up like an altar, really. It's sort of like, here's some bread that's been set here, and then here's this little stick figure almost the side, almost, I mean, it could be an altar, maybe very shabbily put up. Not really not really set up so that like the effigy is center.
Does it look like the doll's eating the food? Like
you check the doll for crumbs. You don't see any crumbs on the
no,
doll.
not like I just mean
No, it just looks like a simple little stick figure. Nothing that rings an immediate bell. You can make a check if you would like.
Yeah. I'd also like to look at the leather. That leather sitting on the ground, strip of leather on the ground seems interesting.
Leather is surprisingly high quality. Looks actually relatively new, like it was recently purchased.
Just a strip of leather, anything carved or?
It's like a square of leather, nothing carved on it. It looks like it's just been set down there, very new, very high quality, very clean, surprisingly, for in here. You get the feeling that the rock may have been put in place to keep that area clean from wandering dust. It very much covers almost like the entire ground inside this little alcove.
Someone could be living here almost.
As for the stick, I mean, if you want, you guys can make a religion check if you would like.
Sure.
guidance.
Wow. 22.
22. I mean, there isn't any of the deities that you really know of that use a stick figure as a symbol for them. The closest might be Habel, Edward's god, because Abel is the union of both death and life. And sometimes that's done in sort of stick art, but something that does come to mind, it's very remote little piece. You one time saw just a minor little icon one time when you and your next eldest brother were just wandering through the market. It was a small little, almost like scratched in stick figure. And it was for the little darkness. Very remote, very, very small group.
Well, he's smart enough to possibly related to some sort of deity. he catches that, he makes that off, that real, that almost of a stretch of a connection. Not gonna mess with that. He will come out of the alcove. Edward, in there's a stick figure, a bowl of bread, and leather on the floor, as you saw. But that stick figure did spark a memory. I was in the Deros market with my next eldest brother. I am the oldest. He's younger. Great fellow. I think you would enjoy talking to him. Either way, we did see a figure for an obscure deity, I believe. The Little Darkness, something like that. And that stick figure there reminded me of it. I don't know if it is exactly, and I'm not that well versed in the gods and deities to feel comfortable messing with it at all. I feel that might be more your realm.
If it's anything to do with the Little Darkness, I believe that's what it was, right?
Yeah.
Little shadow, little shadow.
Little shadow, little darkness. You're trained in religion, correct?
Yep.
All right. You would also know, you would know immediately offhand, while there is a cult of the little darkness, there's never really been a manifestation of any kind of divine power.
Okay.
Not that you've ever heard of, or that any of your teachers from your youth ever heard of. That of any cult of the little darkness producing any sort of miraculous event.
Would I know anything about any of the, like, have I heard any like how the cults behave at all, or is it just basic known knowledge that there are cults? Like, are they hostile? Are they usually like savage fucking cults? You know that.
I mean, to be honest, the cults more just, it's almost like people who you find who are obsessed with the story of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Oh
there's
God,
nothing
Disney adults.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing. You've never heard of anything really nefarious.
Okay.
You've never heard of anything like malicious about any of the cults. They're more just almost like activist groups who almost are like trying to promote that, hey, this should be accepted as universal theology that the little darkness is real.
So I think on that, I'll go. Yeah, if it has anything to do with the little darkness, at least in my research, not much has been known about the actual entity itself, and therefore really not much in the inner workings of the cults. More like, I guess you could call them activists, but if they're trying to do any sort of religious stuff with the little darkness, I mean, I would guess it wouldn't be for the good.
Well, that would kind of lead to a little bit of the note, darkness with light. I wonder if the little darkness has light mythos around it in some way. I'm still not going to touch it just to be safe.
And this must be who, what's his name, Clarence?
Yes,
This
Clarence.
must be who Clarence was also involved with. I mean, he must have been, I don't know, doing some sort of religious worship to this entity as well, because in his notebook it did in fact mention something about the little shadow or little darkness, and I didn't think much of it, but this is a second symbol of that same entity, so
yes. One more reference and we have a pattern.
gotta hate coincidences.
That's where we are now.
I say we push forward and see if we can find this man and get him out before anything bad happens.
Right, through the wall then.
Yeah.
As you all make your way through the wall, Einar still able to do it, no problem. It's a little bit of a squeeze, but you manage. You step out onto a rocky path. there is masonry underneath your feet, brickwork, as you stand upon what looks like a almost like a small cliff with a path running off to the left side, making its way downwards. You step out and you overlook a open cavern. Um, there are pillars and shattered buildings here and there, but at the very center of this mess, old and beautiful, stands a building, a temple. No iconography rests on its exterior. Pillars rise up to support a massive building, and even from here you can see into what looks like its central worship place. And I say that because there is light emanating from it. You don't see any immediate sources or anything like that. But what draws your attention, though, is not the temple itself. As you kind of glance down, almost silhouetted against the light, you see a crouched figure, a black shadowed figure, resting on a nearby rock, crouched down, sudden head twist in your direction, and a cacophony of neon lights suddenly surround it, running along skin and flesh. Even hair seems to illuminate briefly before there is a flash, and then it is gone. And we'll pick up there next time.
Haha.
Mm-hmm.
With that,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, of course, to my players for enduring my delightful fantasy and zombie attack strikes. Thank you for everyone else who has been watching and who is still watching. We will come back again, hopefully here in the near future, to continue on with this as we get into part 3 of the one shot with the boys. And with that, if you enjoyed what you saw, like, subscribe. Please continue liking, subscribing. If you would like to message us, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we have email, which you can find on our Facebook page. And Ray, anything else to add to that?
So if you like this story, you want to watch others, like Mason said, you can find it all on YouTube. We have our Agents of the Collective series, which is the world's longest one-shot. As you can see, we are really good at doing multi-part one-shots. That seems to be
I
our
love it.
MO. But just piggyback off what Mason said, thank you all for watching. Our regular show will be next Tuesday, roughly 7:30-ish. Most likely a little bit closer to 8.
Kind of get on when we get on.
Yeah, between 7:30 to 8-ish, something like that. But again, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.